Hi, in this video we will learn about select and option and what it does. If you want to make some drop down in your application, you should use select. So suppose I am putting one text like your country and I want to take the country of the user. To do that I want to give some drop down. So I should create one select tag and you can see this is one drop down, but now it is blank. So using select tag I can create some drop down. Inside the select tag you should write some option tag like this. So let's say I want to give uh, two option for now, like India and China. So you can see there is a drop down and there is two option, India and China. Now you should give one name also inside the form, as we are using inside it inside in a form. So if you just submit it, you can say in URL there is no sign of select, only username and password, because there is two names for username and password. So what we need to put one name attribute in select like country. So now if you refresh and put some username and password, and default is India, and if you submit it you can see country equal to India. So if you do not write anything, it will take the value inside the option entirely, but sometimes in server you need to put some other value that you are displaying in the UI. Like if you use the name of country and your server is using just two digit character or two length character, then you need to put some value like value equal to in. So if you do that, so put value equal to in for this also, like ch. I am not sure what is the two digit country code of China, but let's say it is ch. If you do that, then you can see when you go back to your index.html, and if you put username, password and China and submit the form, it will be country equal to ch. And if you put India and if you submit the form, it will be country equal to in instead of India. So if you want, you can put some code also like this. Let's say Chinese code for China is 100 and code for India is 200. So if you submit it, like go to this site and put some username and password, and if you submit with India, it will be country equal to 200, and for China it will be 100. Okay, so if you want to put some value in option, you should use option attribute. Now I'm going with some attributes for option tag only. So one tag I already discussed, like value. You can put value which will be submitted to the actual server using name property, like this will be like country equal to 200 or like country equal to 100. So this value will come up, and if you do not provide any value attribute, the text inside your option tag will be provided as value of country. Means country equal to that particular text will be there. But if you provide value using this value attribute inside the option tag, this value will be set in the country when you will submit the form. Okay. So second attribute that I want to discuss, that is disabled. Suppose, okay, I am creating one or two more country, like let's say UK and Poland. Now their code, let's say it is 300 and it is 400. Okay, so it is like this. And one more thing, for it is already selected India by default, but most of the site, or the best practice is to create some default value which is not selected. So you should give one value like this, and this value should be empty, so that, and it will be like select country. So if you do that, it will come like this, and there is no default one. So, and this value is empty also. So if you, means you have to select one country, because this value will be empty and it is not allowed. Suppose if I put required in the select, and if you just submit it, it will say please select an item in the list, because here value is empty, and when you are trying to submit, it will not allow you. But if I remove this, like um, I'm just commenting out it, so default is India now. If you submit it, it will be submitted. So even if you give the required attribute in your select, you already put the required attribute, but it is not working, because by default your first one, or the India, is selected. So it is taking up the India, so it is 200, that means it's India, and it will be your default. So better is just go with one value equal to empty, and put some text like select country or like that. That is one good practice. So I have created two more countries. Now I want to comment out China. Let's say I don't want that user should not select China, so I can disable these also. So if I do that, you can see China is disabled now, so you cannot select China. That is one more attribute. Now I want to select UK by default, let's say. Then you should use selected. If you do that and refresh it, you can see your UK is selected by default. Whenever you will refresh it, by default UK will be selected first. So using selected attribute, you can do that, just like radio button. Okay, so we have discussed most three important attributes for the option. Now, for now, I am just removing this disabled and selected attribute from them, and now I am going with another attributes for the select. Okay, I am just removing this autofocus from the button and putting this autofocus to this select. So whenever you will refresh, so this select box or drop down box will be selected automatically. That is the main function of autofocus. And for the required, you already saw it. If you do not submit, if you do not choose anything from the drop down, it will not allow you to submit the form. Now another is disabled. So you can disable the entire thing using this disabled attribute in select box. So in option, if you put one disabled, it will disable that particular option in the drop down. But if you want to disable the entire drop down, you should put in select tag. Okay. Then another thing is I am just removing the disable tag from select, and now let's say I am putting more three countries, like let's say it is France, one is USA, one is Canada. So if you refresh it and go with them, you can see them, but I want to group them using their continent. I want to group them using their continent. To do that, you should use the tag optgroup. So I am putting one another tag called optgroup, and I am copying, means cutting these two, means China and India, to that optgroup. And if you select, it will be like this. So suppose I am going with another optgroup, and I am putting these three from Europe to this subgroup, and I'm creating another one and putting these last two to this one. Now if you go with this drop down, you can see there are some blank spaces, but there is no text. Means you should put some continent name. To do that, you should add one attribute in opt group, that is label, and your label for the first one will be Asia. And now if you select it, you can see this is your group name. So go with another two also, like label equal to Europe, and go with label equal to North America. So if you do that, it will be like this: Asia and India, China, Europe, UK, Poland, France, and North America, USA, Canada. Now there are some attribute for opt group also, like disabled. So suppose if I want to disable the Europe, and if you put disabled in opt group, then you can see the entire Europe is disabled now. So if I put the disabled in one option only, let's say Canada. So if I put disabled, so this Canada is disabled only. You cannot select Canada. But if you put disabled to the opt group instead of option, your entire group is disabled. And if you want to disable the entire drop down box, you should put disabled attribute to your select. So that's it. So you should remember the opt group, option, and select, these three new tags, and you should put some value attributes to the options, and in the opt group you should put some labels. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.